Hi, Genki Call here with Pridelands for the week of July 3rd, 2023. I have a lot to go over this week. We have the Summer of Love event is still going for the rest of this week. Be sure to get in here if you want to have any of these rewards. Be sure to go in here and do your battles every day. The team I am using is just Merilith, Double Tesla, and the Golden Cog, and it's working great for me. May have to switch to Elementalist here pretty soon, just so they can't kill Merilith right away with those skulls. But anyway, that's what I've been doing. And then for campaign, this is the final week of campaign. If you have if you have the Elite Pass, then our avatar releases this week. If you had the Elite Plus pack, or yeah, pass, then you got it last week. But for those of us that just bought the $9.99 tier, we have two Mythics this week. We have a Ravatar from the campaign, and we also have Mythic Friday coming up. Morthani's Darkness. She looks so cool, I gotta say. Very, very cool looking. Anyway, campaign tasks are pretty easy. Gold from battle, kill enemies, and kill red enemies. Super easy. Don't have to stress on that too much. As far as Pridelands, the trials go, I did do the first battle. It wasn't so bad. I've just left it in this order. I think it's a good order to leave it in. We've got 50% mana reduction. Skull damage reduction here. Become enraged when an enemy dies. Fantastic. You're going to need the skulls. So the Ruby Giant, you're going to be depending upon that in order to get through this. Second clan, Claw Anhur, is going to give attack to allies above him. That's only one troop. And then magic to all allies below. Plus he destroys gems, which means that 3x3 block is as if those were all matched. Then the Behemoth does damage to all enemies and destroys 12 gems. Also gains life on 4+ gem matches, 10 life as a matter of fact. And the Spirit Main is going to give an ally attack. Double the effect if the ally is a Raksha. Now, despite that, I'm always casting on the Ruby Giant unless it looks like it's going to die, and then I cast on second clan Claw Anhur. Fighting Rakshanan, that is so mean. This thing is really, really powerful. So having Rakshanan there is really difficult. So be sure to try to get some skulls and get him out of there as quickly as you can. And then for me, I'm going for Sekima second because she creates skulls and does damage boosted by all other allies' magic. She's really strong. I really like Sekima a lot. Don't like fighting her. So that's it for the trials. As far as what you can get with your event keys, we'll go over that in just a minute. First, let's head into the shop, go into resources, get your 10 event keys every week if you can afford it. It's a fantastic deal for event keys, and you're gonna wanna have those. Weekly event, go and find a Ravatar's Tusk. This thing is not bad at all. I think. On paper, it sounds really good, but we'll go over that when we get into the kingdom to show you what you can get with your event keys. But first, I want to get this guy up to mythic level. If you can, I recommend doing this every week because it is a guaranteed level 20 troop when you need it for the kingdom for your power level. Speaking of power levels, Pridelands can hit, power level 30 this week. If you have a million deeds, you can get to power level 30 this week. Tyrian Shark informs me he doesn't have enough to get to level 30, but he does have enough to get it to level 29. So, way to go, Tyrian Shark, Mr. Grinder himself. Anyway, let's go over what you can get with your event keys this week. But before I start, I'm going to tell you everything that you can get with your event keys this week. However, something to keep in mind is that there is a new legendary coming out on Monday. Monday, we will be getting Geryon. Geryon? The worst beast ever. This thing is a new legendary from Leonis Empire. You will only be able to get it with your event keys next week. It converts green gems to blue and purple gems to doom skulls, drains 2 mana from all enemies, and Most importantly, poisons and stuns a random enemy when matching 4 plus gems. That means that you could run this with Scorpius, and anything that is immune to poison, you can poison it. Now, it looks like it's going to add poison first and then stun. If that is the case, then you'd have to hit them twice with that match 4 in order to get them poisoned just by using the trait, but still, it's something to keep in mind. Also, summons a Doomstorm at the start of battle. Wow. Alright, anyway, I did what... Merfolk? That can't be right. This is a merfolk? Really? Really? Alright, I don't know, maybe it's a mistake. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and go over what you can get with your event keys this week and what you can't get with your event keys this week. Starting off, you will not be able to get a Ravatar. That is campaign pass only. The next time we come to Pridelands, you will be able to get a Ravatar with your event keys, but not this week. So don't even worry about a Ravatar. That's campaign only. So for the mythics that you can get, we've got Leo, Ubistet, and Ubanath. I think these two are great. I think Leo is kind of meh. Damage to an enemy and gain armor boosted by all enemy magic, and you add all of their magic together, divide by 2, and that will be added onto both of these numbers. On paper it sounds great, but generally speaking, unless they're really high level, it's not going to do a whole lot, it seems. I've used them a little bit, really was not impressed. Prove me wrong. I would love to be proved wrong. Has damage from skulls by 40%, a little bit of spell damage reduction, and gives 4 armor to all yellow allies when matching yellow gems. Next up, we have Ubistet. This guy will do damage to the 2 weakest enemies, boosted by all ally and enemy attack, divided by 6. And if one of the enemies dies, kill the other one. Just straight up kill them. Just die. Now, there is an exception. There are a few troops that are immune to insta-kill. Those would be Raid Boss Zolgoth, Enraged Kurandara and Leonis Tower, and the Dooms. Other than that, well, any tower, I should say, any tower. But as far as player-owned troops go, those can't be insta-killed because they are immune to lethal damage. I actually never pay attention to any of these. He's really, really powerful. He's really, really good. You just get him down a little bit, you kill one, and you don't even have to target them. It just automatically hits the ones that have the lowest amount of durability. So Ubistet is great. Love Ubistet. Then we have Umanath. This one does damage to an enemy boosted by all of their skills. Add them all together, divide by 2. That 2-to-1 ratio. If the enemy dies, gain 10 attack and create 10 skulls. So the attack is going up, and you're going to place Hunter's Mark on the enemy when doing skull damage. Unless they're immune, you're going to do a ton of damage because they take double damage from skulls if they're Hunter's Marked. You also can dodge skull damage, so you may get a fantastic hit on her. She may dodge it, and then gain 4 attack when matching 4 plus gems. So she's really nice to run at the front of the team, and I like her a lot as well. Next up, we have Behemoth, whom is, I already mentioned in the Epic Trials, damage to all enemies, destroy gems. He's impervious and gains 10 life on every 4 plus gem match. You will not be able to get the Death Tarot. The Death Tarot is only available in the vault. Next, we have First Claw Mahis. That's how I pronounce it anyway. Eliminate attack and armor from the first 2 enemies, boosted by my attack. So you take the attack, you divide by 3. Oh, that's funny. Lester will like that. Divide by 3 and add that on. And I'll do... just remove those from the first 2 enemies. It's not exactly damaging them, because if they don't have attack and they don't have armor anymore, it's not going to do a whole lot, but it will also give 3 to 8 mana to all other allies, and has a little skull damage reduction. Inderjit you cannot get. Inderjit is from Inderjit's Palace, as is the Hellclaw Warrior. You will not be able to get either of these because you have to use your Chaos Shards for those. Sekma, I already mentioned as well. She is a double mana converter with the skulls. Blue gems to skulls, brown gems to yellow. Damage to an enemy boosted by all other allies' magic, as I mentioned. Plus she gets 2 magic every time you match red, and she uses red, so you're going to be matching red. She's really, really good, and I think she's really underrated. Next up is Finley, whom you will get just from completing the, sorry, my mind, completing the storyline here at Pridelands. Transform all skulls to gems of any color you want, and then gain some gold. Yes, he is a merchant, so he gets an extra bit of gold from the battle. Allows you to get more gold from the battle. The threshold is increased, and he's immune to silence. Next is the Hellclaw Rager. She does damage to an enemy if they're an elemental, deal triple damage, and if they die, she enrages herself. She has a chance to dodge skull damage. She is always going to become enraged when something dies, and she does double skull damage versus elementals. So, if you're fighting elementals, this is your chick right here. This is your gal. Next up is Kartek the Climber. This is our Siegebreaker. So that 3 to 5 times damage for spells and skulls on towers. Then she's going to eliminate armor from all enemies as well. And a chance to dodge skull damage as well. Next up is the Leocorn. This is another one that we're fighting in the Epic Trial. Create 3 wild cards. If another ally is enchanted, gain an extra turn, then enchant a random ally. 25% chance to create a 2x wild card when matching 4+ gems, and spell damage reduction by 25%. Mamakus. He is Mamakus. He destroys a row, does damage to the first 2 enemies boosted by his life. Take this life, divide by 3, and that is how much will be added on. Skull damage reduction by 25%. Gain 1 life on 4+ gem matches. It's not much, but he is immune to stun. And not that his traits are really anything to... immunity to stun with these traits just really isn't that much to write home about, but Anyway, Night Slayer is pretty powerful. This guy is a God Slayer. That means same thing with the Siegebreaker, at 3 to 5 time damage to anything with a red border, anything at all that's Gem Dragons, Diamantina, that is Enraged Kurandara, and Hatir Ascendant, Scroll Reborn. The bosses in the dungeon, all of them will get that 3 to 5 times damage. And this is damage boosted by their life. It's a 5-to-1 ratio, but it's still really, really nice on high levels. Salamander is going to do damage to an enemy and burn them. Not a whole lot, but he does do double skull damage versus burning enemies, and itself is immune to burning and fairy fire. Next we have Second Claw and Her, which I already went over. Destroy a 3x3 block, give attack and magic, and a little skull damage reduction. Shadow Hunter, love the Shadow Hunter. Hold on, let me just go ahead and do this. Shadow Hunter is super, super good on those high levels. And let me just get Aravatars. I always want to say Aravatar, but Georgia enlightened me that it's Aravatar. Of course it's Aravatar. That makes total sense. Anyway, I digress. Let's go back to Shadow Hunter. She is really strong. Damage to the strongest enemy boosted by all enemy life. If your enemies have a ton of health, add it all together, divide by 3, add it on there. It really, really does a lot of damage. Plus, bonus blue mana that feeds right back into herself, and she has a chance to dodge skull damage. Stone Shaker is another Siegebreaker for this place. This one does damage and then also explodes 3 brown gems and has some skull damage reduction just like the other one. Ruby Giant, did I even talk about this? Damage to an enemy, convert 5 blue gems to red giant gems. He actually can loop pretty nicely, and his traits have great synergy, because he gets enraged when an enemy dies. You have him at the front of the team because he has skull damage reduction, and then every time he gets hit from skulls, he creates another red giant gem. So you're going to see when you do the epic trials, this is a really nice troop to have at the front of the team. He is, in my opinion anyway. Now, the new troop, a Ravatar's Tusk. Remember, you can get this in the shop for however many glory, 300 glory, 400, 300 glory, I think. This one does damage to an enemy boosted by my life. Take the life, divide by 3, and add it on there. If the enemy dies, create 8 Deathmark gems and 8 skulls. I don't want to fight this thing. I don't want this thing to ever kill one of my troops because I don't want those Deathmark gems on the board. And 8 skulls as well, so he himself is immune to Deathmark, which is great, and he's a necromancer. What? How does that make any sense? He's a necromancer. Why is this guy a necromancer? I don't know. Bonus souls. Anyway. Chimera. Chimera does damage to the strongest enemy, burns and poisons them. You've fought it in Delves, and so you probably already know what it does. Also gains 1 magic when an ally casts a spell. The Claw Dancer does a range of damage to an enemy, and if they die, she gets an extra turn. She's stealthy, she starts battles with 75% mana, and she can dodge skull damage. Can't get the Hellclaw Mage. She's from Indrajit's Palace. Next up is Raksha Freeblood, who is actually not a bad mana generator as long as you've got some gold. So, she explodes 1 gem boosted by gold, and she gains 10 gold every time she casts. So every time she casts, you're going to be doing a little bit better with exploding those gems. Not the best mana generator on the board, but if she's all you got, she can get some mana for you. Skull damage reduction, become enraged when an enemy dies, but not much skull damage reduction. And 2 bonus gold on 4+ gem matches. Who do we have next? Can't get Hellclaw Mage, I think I mentioned that. Rakshanan. I already talked about Rakshanan. Damage to an enemy boosted by their current life. Take the life, divide by 2, add it on there. And it's... if they're high level, they will crater very quickly. Start battles with 50% mana and he's stealthy. Did I mention that that top troop was stealthy in the epic trial? Because I meant to. That's why it was mean to have it up front, or to have it on the enemy team, but nice that it's up front. Spell Paw converts blue gems to red, gives armor and barrier to the strongest ally. Summon a firestorm at the start of battle, does nothing for itself, but, you know, they can't all be amazing troops. Spirit Main. Oh, we already went over this. Double the effect if the ally is a Raksha. Bonus red mana from red gem matches. Next up is Tuskar. Tuskar does damage to an enemy boosted by my life. Gain 5 life. And you're gaining 1 life every time you get a 4+ gem match. Next is Halfmane. Halfmane is highly recommended if you are lower level. This is really nice to use on the high levels of bounty, because if you don't want to do the true damage route like with Tragraki Warrior, this one is excellent for doing regular damage, because if the enemy's attack is greater, deal double damage. This doesn't work for me anymore. I'm too high level. My attack is much higher than the enemies in bounty, but when I was lower level, I took advantage of that double damage to get things done there. Chance to dodge skull damage, starts battles with 75% mana. Can't get Hellclaw Hunter, it's from Indrajit's Palace. The Rex Warrior, cleanse myself, deal damage to an enemy. If the enemy dies, gain 4 attack, which is not really much, but you know, anytime you take damage, you're getting 1 more attack. You gain 3 attack when an ally dies, recover 1 life at the start of each turn. The Rift Lynx is another one that's super, super nice, that is also a bounty hunter, but this one does true damage. You can run this with Tragraki Warrior. I do it all the time. Sometimes I don't feel like using the Corpse Mare. By the way, we do have bounty this weekend, but I'll go over that in a bit. True damage to an enemy, knock them to the last position. It's stealthy, 1+ magic for each red ally, and as I said, a bounty hunter. The Saber-Toothed Lion does damage to an enemy. If the enemy dies, gain 5 magic. Very powerful to get that extra magic in Arena. But every time your magic goes up, this purple number goes up. It's immune to silence, and that's about it. Bandit, do not fully trait Bandit. You can see I did not do this. You don't want to fully trait the Bandit ever. Because I did a video on secrets for Gems of War. I will include that at the end of this video. You can check it out. It explains exactly why you don't want to trade this guy. But you get +2 gold for every 4 plus gem match and does damage to an enemy and steals gold as well, if they have gold to steal. The Pride Hunter does damage to the first enemy and silences them. That's really pretty good for just a common, and it's also stealthy. Then we have the Sunsail, who does, he diseases an enemy, which makes them, you can see right here, it halves the mana a troop gains, so they match 4, they only get 2. There's a cumulative 10% chance to recover each turn, just like most of the status effects, and then transforms all yellow gems to brown to boost the effect. So if you have 9 that you transform, you'll get an extra 3 damage because of this boost ratio. But you do get bonus brown mana from brown gem matches. And lastly, we have the Troubadour. Choose an ally, create 10 gems of one of their mana colors. Straight up, that's what it's going to be. Even if they are webbed, this thing is webbed, it's still going to do that because there's no purple on the board, and the webbing reducing the magic. The magic is the purple number that's on your card, or right, is what's affected. It's immune to mana burn and all that stuff, and summons a light storm at the start of the battle, which feeds right back into itself. Boy, that's a lot of talking. All right, coming up this week, I did not have my Son of Tau is in danger. That's nice. I forgot to set my alarm on my clock, so clock, let me set this in case I'm awake. There we go. All right, got that. So, as far as upcoming events for the week, yeah, we've got an Independence Day sale. We've got Raksha. Oh, Pridelands troops gain an extra 10% to their skills, and so do Wild Folk. Interesting, it's not Raksha, it's Wild Folk and Pridelands troops. So if there is a Wild Folk from Pridelands, they get plus 20% to their skills for this week. And then if you take a rabbit, they messed up. It's supposed to say a Ravatar's Tusk in PvP and Explore, you'll get bonus 40 souls. And I'm back. So let's go over what we've got for the week coming up. On Tuesday, we have the Indrajit's Palace Faction Assault. On Wednesday, it is the Yankee Poodle. It's not this, it's the Yankee Poodle. On Thursday, we have Sunspear class. Highly recommend Sunspear class because it has a persistent red storm, which is super, super helpful. Then on Friday, we have Bounty. So let me show you the Bounty troop real quickly here. And it is not there. It is right here. It's Urski. Urski will destroy 8 gems, then deal magic +2 damage to an enemy. So your magic +2, literally. He uses blue and green, and he gets bonus green mana from green gem matches. Fantastic, because I love to use, sorry, Ogress when I'm doing Bounty. And so that's what we're doing this weekend. Also, Friday, I did mention Morthani's Darkness is coming out. She steals life from 4 random enemies. It's not each enemy, it's 4 random enemies. And so, by the wording, it looks like if there's only 1 enemy left, it will steal life from them 4 times. Could be really good. Also creates an Uber Doomskull at the start of every turn and is undying. And a Necromancer. So, anyway, let me see. I think that may be it for the week, and it is. I feel like I'm forgetting something again. It's all right. Anyway, I hope that you have a fantastic week. Have a wonderful day wherever you may be, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.